Members Day, and to the members of the subcommittee for allowing me to testify here today. I'm here this morning first to urge project authorization for the Asian carp barrier at Brandon Road Lock and Dam in my district. Secondly, to change the local cost share adjustment for the Brandon Road project. Thirdly, to fully support funding for the Army Corps Joliet Flood Mitigation Study, Section 205. Brandon Road Lock and Dam, located in the Des Plaines River in Joliet, Illinois, serves as the last line of defense to prevent the spread of Asian carp and other aquatic nuisance species into the Great Lakes. This invasive species was introduced decades ago in Arkansas and has now traveled up the Mississippi Basin and is threatening environmental and economic catastrophe if it reaches the Great Lakes Basin. The Army Corps has submitted its chief's report in May of 2019, and it is now Congress's responsibility to fully authorize and fund this project and to provide additional authorizations to the Corps to rapidly study and implement additional options and technologies at Brandon Road to improve the efficacy of that barrier. This project authorization is urgent in order to prevent aquatic nuisance species from passing freely into the Great Lakes, which would damage the economies of the Great Lakes states and the economy of Canada. Secondly, the construction of Brandon Road moves forward following our authorization of this project. I urge the committee to provide the Corps with additional project authorization to mitigate the disruption of recreational activities in the surrounding area. Specifically, the Brandon Road project, as planned, would disrupt use of the 20-mile path that follows the historic Illinois and Michigan Canal downstream, as well as nearby pedestrian and bicycle paths along the Des Plaines River and Hickory Creek. And to mitigate this damage, Congress should require the Corps to use a small percentage of the project's money to integrate the Brandon Road project with the neighboring recreational areas along the I&M Canal, the Des Plaines River, and Hickory Creek. Specifically, this additional money should be used to improve and extend the bike path and walkways along these waterways and to extend the path over Brandon Road Lock and Dam. Thirdly, because of the national scope of the threat and the fact that the carp were introduced in a state hundreds of miles away, we request that the non-federal cost share be waived for this project. The Asian carp and aquatic nuisance species are traveling up from the southern region of the Mississippi River, and as a result, it has somehow become the responsibility of Illinois to prevent them from moving into Lake Michigan and the Great Lakes states. The federal government, therefore, should pay the full cost of this project. With these environmental and economic benefits in mind, I urge the committee to include Brandon Road's expanded authorization, including a waiver of the cost share in WRDA. Or perhaps you could simply just transfer the cost share to Arkansas. Illinois did not create this problem, and we should not be forced to bear the cost of protecting the entire Great Lakes region and Canada. Finally, I'd also like to draw your attention to another project that requires funding in my district, the Army Corps Joliet Flood Mitigation Study. Last year, FEMA placed the downtown portions of the city of Joliet within a floodplain. While FEMA is outside this committee's jurisdiction, FEMA's close coordination with the Army Corps is crucial, and I'm gravely concerned that the recent floodplain determination will negatively impact Joliet's effort at downtown revitalization. Since this decision, the city of Joliet has actively worked with the Army Corps to design and construct a new flood wall, which can be certified as a levee and extend flood protections throughout the downtown. I strongly support the initial USACE Joliet study being fully funded, then that the Section 205 remediation project funding be directed to the city. Well, thank you again, and yield back the balance of my time.
Thank you very much for your testimony. It is very well put. Thank you, sir. And I would now like to recognize, is there any questions from the committee? None? Seeing none? Thank you, sir. I'd like to recognize the next witness, the gentleman from New York, Mr. Higgins, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairwoman and the Ranking Member Graves and members of the committee. Thank you for giving me the opportunity